Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the grayscale trusts as well as some of the key metrics which suggest even still that we could be at a bottom. We're pretty close to it. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so before I get into the grayscale trusts, I do want to show you guys all these different metrics that in my opinion signal a potential bottom is just about here. So we have Bitcoin obviously holding above this level here. That by itself, the fact that it's been sitting above 92,000 for weeks, and even though we've had some green and red, it has not broken down yet, in my opinion, signals potentially we could be pretty close to a bottom. Again, we do have this really ugly looking potential shooting star candle here on the monthly time frame. That's not great. Usually at the top of a move, that is a pretty bearish signal, but do I think it's going to play out like that? Nah, probably not. I mean, it's too early in the cycle for something like that anyways. We're not even in the post-halving year. So the fact that we have pulled back from 108,000 and we're still sitting above that kind of major structural level there on Bitcoin tells me likely we're probably not going to see any further downside. Or if we do, it's very minimal. You can see it's even more pronounced here on the daily time frame. Again, we've kind of just been bobbing on this level, haven't really moved past it. I want you guys to notice that the last time smart money pulled a move like this, they basically just continuously did not allow the price to break down below this falling channel here that we talked about for months and months and months. And I mean, make no mistake, okay, they were probably still stop hunting, probably still liquidity hunting, looking to stop out shorts on the downside and longs on the upside. They were probably looking to liquidate longs on the downside, because usually a long stop will be kind of somewhere down here below the channel and a short stop will be somewhere above the channel. So they were probably wrecking people on both sides. But we already knew that based on this pattern, it was likely going to go up, and that's exactly what it did. So in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, we're seeing something very similar. And yeah, sure, there's a death cross on the daily time frame, but again, we saw this multiple times in this pattern, and it still ended up going higher. So I'm not really giving that too much credence at this point. The other thing I do want to point out here is there is a bullish divergence still playing out on the 4-hourly time frame for Bitcoin, and usually that signals an early reversal sign. Basically, in this case, it means that likely the trend is going to flip here soon and go to the upside. That's what a bullish divergence means ultimately. And aside from that, the oversold signal on the 4-hourly time frame, you guys know that at this channel, we are notorious for pointing this out on charts. So the 4-hourly oversold signal usually indicates a bottom is either currently happening or is pretty near in the future. Every single time. And again, I can go over these ad nauseum, maybe except with the exception of this one, but nearly every single time we get one of these readings, it indicates a bottom is pretty close, okay? Or it's already here. So we're seeing that too as well. All right, so the next thing I want to point out here is see if I can find it. So clsk, and again, I know this is not like a macro thing, and we're going to talk about the macro tomorrow, but yeah, you can see literally every single time we got that 4-hour oversold, what happened, we had a huge, more often than not, a huge move up to the upside, and usually that did indicate some major bottom was forming on that. So I want to take it even a step further here, and I want to go up and take a look at the stocks above the 50-day moving average on the S&P. So you guys can see we are literally, and I think this is not even updated yet. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is not even updated yet. Let me actually take a look at the daily and see if anything pops up for that. Oh, maybe it is updated. I guess it didn't really move much. Okay. Well, whatever the case, so it's pretty close to that buy area. Again, I want to point this out for a reason. Okay. In the last 4 years, we've only seen basically this same level once, kind of a cluster here, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. This would now be the sixth time within going on almost 4, even up to 5 years. The next one I want to point out here is the NASDAQ. And again, I know that this one's a little bit higher up on the scale, but I just want to just draw a line across here so you can point this out. You guys can see it's not very common. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 times in the last 4 years. It's gotten around this 30 area. 16 may seem like a lot when you think about it, but over the course of 4 years, how many times can 16 or 4 go into 16? That basically means that pretty much once a quarter, it might have hit that 30 area every single year. So once every 3 months on average, this thing would have gotten around 30 is pretty much what the math says here. The other thing I wanted to point out too as well, and then we'll get into the actual grayscale charts, and part of the reason why I say this, all of this stuff, is because usually the macro, if there's a correlation in selling between stocks and crypto, and it seems like everything is tanking, then usually that means that everything is likely going to reverse to the upside at the same time, okay, or very, very close, synonymously in nature. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at here. So basically, if markets are about to bottom in stocks, then Bitcoin's probably about to bottom too, and the rest of the crypto market should be heading higher with it. So the other thing I wanted to point out here, and again, we will talk about this in the macro more so, but I guess this is it. Okay, so I want to go over the weekly time frame on the NASDAQ. And again, I want to point this out. Okay, this level that we're currently retesting, we have been here before. Okay. So you guys can see, even though it has retested, it's retraced about 5% on this chart, that we had some candle tops here. So basically, what is this? This is structure. Okay. Usually it holds. Is it a guarantee? No. But worst case scenario, maybe this thing comes down to the yellow EMA, but I highly doubt it. Maybe down to the top of this green box here, roughly about 7% pullback. That would be a standard correction that you would typically expect once or twice a year in stocks. It would not be anything out of the ordinary and then pop to the upside, but I think we're pretty much about done with this move. Let's see if I can find maybe it's not on here. Okay, so let's check one more source real quick. Pretty sure I had some zones drawn out here on one of these. Yeah, okay, whatever the case, maybe not. But point being is, we're still in an uptrend. It looks like markets are potentially about to hit a bottom. And I mean, in terms of the macro factors, a potential for a bear market just does not line up for me. I mean, I'm seeing way too many things that are bullish, that tell me likely this is probably more just fear driven than anything. People are kind of scared or worried about Trump's policies. And look, I'm going to point back to 2 historical points in time here that one of these you guys may not even know about. And this is probably going to piss a lot of people off, but facts are what they are. So look, I'll tell you guys like this, okay? People are worried about Trump's policies like illegal immigration and stuff like this. Before Biden got into office, the economy, the job market, the Fed funds rate obviously being at all-time lows, but the economy, the markets, everything was doing just fine. Okay, the national debt was fine, the economy was fine, the job market was fine, everything was fine. The markets were doing good. But I want to take it even a step further and let you guys know that the next best time that we had in terms of economies was during Obama's administration. And Obama was actually one of the number 1 people with the best track record for ensuring that illegal immigrants did not enter into the United States. He had one of the strictest illegal immigration policies in history, and he is a Democrat. So, for those of you guys that did not know that, what happened, and again, this is not about political policies. The point of this that I'm trying to circle back to is the markets and finance. We had the 8 greatest years minus the GFC in the markets that the markets have seen, probably within the last 100 years. It's one of the greatest stretches that we've seen in the markets, and it happened during his administration. Okay, so like I said, I think pretty much what's going on is all fear, no substance right now. A lot of people repositioning, maybe getting ready for tax season, trying to get their year-end bonuses. Wall Street, I'm sure they're probably trying to do that. I wouldn't doubt that. So that's kind of what we're seeing right now. All right, so let's get into LTCN. So it is not it is not quite the first yet. I do suspect that probably next month we're going to start seeing some upside. Again, it's a new year. Everybody's looking forward to new stuff and all that jazz. You guys know how it is, right? New Year's resolutions. It's always a big deal with people. For those of you guys that don't know, I actually began my New Year's resolution on working out and getting in shape in the month of May. I'm not saying New Year's resolution is BS, but anybody can create a New Year's resolution any day of the year if they really wanted to. You just have to be willing to put your mind and willpower to do it. Easier said than done. Trust me, I know. Okay, so LTCN, we still have a few trading days left. Keep in mind the markets will not be open tomorrow because it is a major holiday. As a matter of fact, I believe that even the futures market is not going to be open tomorrow. I could be mistaken about that, but I think even they're not going to be open. So pretty much the only thing that's going to be open is the native crypto space, because you guys know native crypto never has it's open 24/7, right? Okay, so LTCN 1215 to roughly about 17.5 on the buy zone here, 25,254 for the targets. Again, the all-time high for LTCN is $510 per share. So it is, it's a stupid gain from this point. It's like a 40x or something. So 333% potential gain here. BCHG. So I don't have this perfectly lined up. There we go. That's about as perfect as I can get it. So anywhere from 515 to 580 as a potential buy area, and targets going from 1270 to about 24 for the profit target here for about 340% gain. Next one, HZEN. So pull back into structure roughly around that $5 area. That's what I'd be looking at to scoop some up. Of course, you have 350 to 420 below that. If you guys are worried it's going to go lower, it's always possible. Do I think it's going to happen at this point with how oversold things look? I don't know. Probably not. I highly doubt it. So $8 to $12.40 here as potential targets. We're looking at roughly about 150% gain ETCG. So it does appear to be holding this trend line here. And again, usually these are retest levels. Traders all over the world, doesn't matter where they're at, they're looking at this stuff if they're trading it. So once you've been a day trader or a swing trader for so long, eventually all this stuff kind of becomes second nature. It's extremely complex once you first learn, but after like 2, 3, 4 years, it starts to become not even a big deal. You just see it, and you don't even have to draw a line on the chart. You can just see it looking at the chart. It becomes that easy. So roughly about $9.80 to $12, I would say, is a good area to potentially get in here, and $18.40 to $20 for targets. Keep in mind, this is not financial advice. You guys are welcome to come to your own conclusions on this. 107% gain. ETH. So yeah, anywhere in this green box, 23.50 to 28. I'd say about 28.50. Keep in mind the EMAs are in there too, so those will likely hold a support as well. The target I'd be looking for beyond a breakout point above this level here is the cup and handle target at 52.60 for a potential move as high as 125%. GBAT mostly moving sideways in between these two zones here, so anywhere in this area I'd say is a good potential area to buy. So 440 to roughly about $10. 32 for the all-time high. Now, of course, if you're 586% gain, if your cost basis is a little bit high, you can always just average down either on a daily bit, like a set amount on a daily basis to get your average lower to increase the potential upside and reduce the amount of drawdown that you have. Or you could do that on a daily basis, kind of a DCA strategy, or you could wait for it to get to a major structure level, like, just strictly buying in here, buying down here, maybe buying down at this white line, but not touching anything in between. You could just do that as well to ensure that you're not like buying areas that may not necessarily hold. That's something that we have been doing with CLSK pretty frequently throughout the weeks. So FILG, it appears that we're getting below the EMAs, so I'd say anywhere between maybe 34 to 65. It's a potential spot to pick some up. 400 for the all-time high as the target. About 1,040% gain. All right, GLIV. It's pretty much sitting right here at support. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about that. It is what it is. It's just right there. I mean, the last time we were here, other than this cluster right here, I mean, it was way back here in late 2023, early 2024. So there's that. I do also want to point this out too. I don't know if you can see this, but it appears maybe, and again, this is one of those things that comes with experience. I just noticed this by looking at it. It appears maybe there is some kind of inverse head and shoulders pattern here. And yeah, I think that white line probably would suffice right here. So if we got a breakout of this, which probably going to happen at some point, when exactly, I don't know. For what reason exactly, I don't know. Maybe Gensler resigns and the crypto market just starts moonshotting based on that news alone. We'll have to wait and see. But the target would be roughly about $31 on this. So buy zone down here at 1150 to about 1460. Target would be the all-time high at 80. Of course, adjust everything according to your cost basis. So 615% gain here. G-Link. So yeah, it's retesting the buy zone here. I mean, if you guys missed out down here, well, this could be your second chance right here. 67 to about 83 as a potential buy area, and then the target up here at 220. And I want you guys to remember something here too, 250% gain. So down here, everybody was saying this thing is dead. Oh, it's garbage. I don't want to buy this crap. It's going nowhere. It's probably going to zero, blah, blah. The typical retail trader mindset when the markets don't do what they want it to do. I mean, albeit I've been doing this for a long time, and it's frustrating even for me. Trust me, there are some days when I begin to wonder. If you think that doesn't happen, yes, it does. But I want you guys to remember something. This huge move, okay? This is a huge move too. This went from 25 to 160. That's a 6x return in like a couple of months. This move happened because of one catalyst. You guys may not know what that catalyst is, but it's because Trump bought Chainlink. Okay? I'm kidding you not. That's it. As far as I remember, looking back in history, and I do follow the crypto space pretty in depth, that was the reason why this pump took place. So literally these pumps on any of these tokens, any of these trusts, it could happen for literally one reason, and it would be something that probably nobody would see coming. And again, smart money knows this. Okay, all it takes to move the markets is some kind of massive dark pool buy for billions of dollars, which eventually ultimately rips the price to the upside. Or basically what I'm saying is smart money moving the market, which happens by default because of the size of their position. It's absolutely huge. If you got, like, let's say somebody goes out there and buys 1 million shares of Soxel at $26 a share as a long position, do you think that's not going to move the market? It absolutely is going to move the market. It's going to move it huge. Okay. So by default, that size capital is going to make a big move in one direction or another. And on the flip side, smart money knows that it just takes a catalyst or a series of catalysts to send these things flying to the moon, right? Like SoundHound, for example, when it was announced that NVIDIA had a position in SoundHound, that thing took off like a rocket. There's another good example of a catalyst. Okay, so GSOL, pretty much around this $20 area, maybe somewhere between 15 to 20 as a potential buy area. Targets up here 70 to 115. I will say for Solana, so 605, 610% gain for Solana, it could be that spot Solana ETF getting approved that could send this thing flying to the upside, and then all you guys are going to be like, oh, what the hell, man, I missed out. Ooh, I didn't get any of those gains. Well, I mean, here it is. I'm telling you that, and I can't guarantee it's going to play out like this, but I'm telling you something like that realistically could happen. Whether you guys are in it, choose to take advantage of it or not, that's up to you. So 36 to 40 here as a potential buy area, targets somewhere between 70 to, I'd say, 95, 96 at the all-time highs for about 170% gain. Mana. So I don't know. I'd say probably anywhere. I mean, this is going to be a pretty broad range, but you guys can see how much price action took place in this area. So anywhere between, I'd say, about that $7 to going up to 1970 or 10 to 20, somewhere in there, as a potential good area to accumulate. Again, this is basically just a big fat accumulation zone. It doesn't look like it because the charts are there's so many lines on there. But yeah, you guys can see based on this box right here that pretty much that's what's going on. So the all-time high up here at 70 for about an 880% move. And last but not least, Zcash. So it literally did nothing on the day. That's pretty shocking. So anyways, buy zone down here, 440 to, I'd say, 440 to 510 because it did break structure. So maybe back in this kind of green box that we flipped would be a good area to potentially pick some up, and 810 to about 10 and a quarter for the swing targets up there for about 140-ish% gain. All right, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.